PJ. After the second time we met, I knew that I already loved you. We are both creative souls that have so many things in common. You are a good, kind, and patient person who brings out the best in me. Thank you for everything that you do for me and all that you've taught me. I'm so excited to begin this new chapter in our lives. PJ. I promise to always be present in our marriage, to always be focused, engaged, and making sure that I'm living in every moment with you. I promise to always have fun with you in order to keep our fire burning, whether it's exploring another country, having a regular date night, or playing Just Dance at home. I promise to always bounce back after every fight and to make sure that neither you or myself never stays mad for too long. I promise to support your ongoing collection of pop vinyls and figurines. I promise to always protect you. I might be small, but the love that I have for you is infinite, and I will mess anyone up if they try to give you a hard time. I swear to always be there for you through all your victories and losses, and through all the good times and the bad times. Lastly, I vow to always take care of you. Whether it's taking you to get your wisdom teeth taken out or having that mole checked, it's because I want you to always be healthy and for us to live a long, happy and healthy life together. PJ. Every single day I've spent with you has been the best day of my life. You were my first love, and I'm so happy that you'll be my last. I love you so much.
I, PJ, take you, Jojo, to be my lawfully wedded wife. When you came into my life, you brought me so much joy and happiness with your bubbly personality. We would always email each other because you were so old school and had no social media. You are my best friend, and you would always take care of me and show me love like no other. I promise to truly love you through the thick and thin, the good, the bad, no matter what. I vow to protect you and comfort you whenever you need me. I promise to always tuck you in at night so you can always have a good night's sleep. I vow to always give you your space when you need it and to always be understanding and supportive. I promise to be open to speak to you about anything and to open my soul to you. I vow to put you before me in all things. I will always make sure to remind you how important you are to me. I promise to always act silly with you, no matter how mature we get. I pledge my life to yours, that your dreams become my dreams, and with every thump of my heart, I will love you.
Aww. Hey man, thanks for joining me. Appreciate it too if you sat through the intro video. I wanted to put that at the start, just mainly to get rid of some of the stuffy people. We don't want them here. Because we're going to talk about the A7RV, which I'm holding now, and we're going to compare the Slog3 to just other Rec709 profiles, including just turning picture profiles off. So that intro video was the A7 IV and the A7RV with picture profiles turned off. And I think it turned out amazingly. And no picture profile, after 10 years of doing wedding videos, this is my 10th year, no picture profiles is now my new favorite way of doing weddings and events. And there's a few reasons. Like I'll say, I don't want to make the video all about that. We can continue discussing it or fighting it out in the comments section later. But mainly it's quality control. You get exactly what you see. The picture looks amazing straight out of camera, as you can see from the examples. And it's easier to edit. And since you're not doing large color space transformations like, you know, Rec709, S-Log to Rec709, you don't really need to shoot in 422. You can lower it to 420 and it's a breeze to edit. And editors love editing my stuff. And as you can see from that video, looks amazing. There are no downsides to filming weddings in this way to me, and the only negative when you film not in S-Log or anything like that, and you film in PP off, is you get people jumping on in the comments trying to teach me something, give me lessons. And sometimes it's quite funny, and I look at it and it's quite basic bitch even, and I'm like, wow, looks like you've watched one Gerald Undone video and now you're going to tell me, you know, what a shutter rule is. Or I even had one guy jump on and tell me all about chroma subsampling, like 420 versus 422. Anyway, we don't want to talk about them either at large, because that's only really 10%. Let's focus on the 90% who are using this camera in various situations. So the purpose of today's video is, now I'm shooting in S-Log3, and the question I pose then to myself is this little camera good enough for my own film projects? Because I will film in S-Log for my own stuff, and some corporate gigs as well in S-Log3, depending on the level of control that we desire. So this here is S-Log3 on the A7RV. And I don't want to do like charts or anything like that. I want to do a practical case. And if I was to be outside, then I probably would scream out the sun like this. You know, there's a little bit of harsh lighting back there. And this will be part one of a few tests. Maybe just a couple of tests. Lyla is not available today, but she will be for the next test, when I actually will try my hardest to make this A7RV look cinematic. We're going to do it indoors, we'll light it properly, whatever. And yeah, the question is this camera good enough to do my short films and things like that? Because it's not, then I'll choose one of my other little Sony cameras, like the A7 IV. Now, quickly going over the video that I just showed you, the wedding video with picture profiles turned off. Now, the A7RV is fine, it's fine. I was a bit harsh on it last video, and basically because my expectations were higher, so I expected it to be better than the A7 IV. The stabilization is better. Color science, arguably, although I haven't really tested that exhaustively, looks great. And that video that I showed you was largely handheld. If it's obviously walking, that is a gimbal shot. But there's a sunset shot, which is the A7RV with 35mm handheld. Looks beautiful. And I really love this camera, and I'm going to put the prime lenses on this camera, and I'll put the 24-105 on the A7 IV. And I think that's where the camera may start to show some of the artifacts of pixel binning and things like that. And that is in low light. You may see some more noise, some more artifacts. So what I'll do is the 24-105 will go on the A7 IV then. It performs a bit better in low light. And this one can be my second camera. I can put the 50mm on there, beautiful. Don't need anything, I just pop it in the bag. So good as the backup camera. Either way, you can pop it in the bag, handheld, bring it out, you've got a second choice of lenses there. And that's another reason why I like shooting PP off. Don't need monitors or crazy matte boxes or lots of NDs to shoot S-Log outdoors. Yeah, so where was I? The camera's fine. The A7RV, the stabilization is beautiful. And I think now the only negative, besides the slightly less noise performance in low light, is there's no anti-aliasing filter. So you may not be able to tell in the video that I've uploaded, because maybe I chose not to show those ones. But in his jacket, if there's any formal or fixed textures, it will start to moire. So what can you do? I guess put all the prime lenses on this kind of camera if you're going to film in this way. A lot of shallow depth of field. And another trick I'm doing now, although I'm not wearing any textured clothing right now, is I've got my Tiffen black satin on there. So normally it's overused, these Tiffen diffusion filters, but in this case, for this particular camera, I will say do whatever you can to get those moire patterns gone, gonski. And that's about it. Really, really happy with it. Obviously the photos are amazing. So we're going to do a couple of tests. We'll do this one, and then we'll do a night test with Lyla. And if you like, before I go, we'll compare this to no picture profile, hey? And then we'll also compare it to maybe S-Cinetone. Let's do the no picture profile first. Okay, so no picture profile first with standard colors, just like the wedding video that you saw at the start. Now, when you're jumping around in picture profiles, obviously you ride the base ISO to get the cleanest performance. The base ISO on this is 100, I think, so I'm just spinning my ND filter to match. And this is me eyeballing it on the back of the screen. I think when I had it on S-Log, it was like that. It was a bit darker, wasn't it? So I like to get the skin perfect and protect the highlights. And this is my no picture profile. You know, when you're doing tests like this, quite often it's different to when you're in the field. So, for example, if I was doing a test like this, I may choose the next picture profile, which is S-Cinetone. Okay, yeah, so this is S-Cinetone. Actually, then maybe that's a bit bright. So when doing tests like this, quite often I would prefer the S-Log or the S-Cinetone. And that's why sometimes it's a bit dangerous just to listen to people who don't work practically in the field. Like not dissing on anyone, but let's say you watched a Gerald Undone video, or you did it yourself. You did a side by side and you decided S-Cinetone looks the best in this case. Well, I've found the performance differs and it averages out over the day. You really have to do like a whole wedding or a whole event in those picture profiles to see how it performs in all situations. And that's, once again, why I like the standard picture profile. It's just averaged out to be consistently performing as I want it to be. Beautiful straight out of camera, no mistakes, and the bride looks good, or whoever I'm filming looks great. And isn't that what it's all about? So this is S-Cinetone. It's a fraction less dynamic range than picture profile off. Obviously not as much dynamic range as S-Log. Anyway, that's all for today. I can't wait to do the more indoor dedicated film-like test with this camera, and we'll see if it's good enough for my short films. Because the last thing I'll say, I'll stay on S-Cinetone. It's quite bright and it's hard to see if I'm exposed properly. Let's trust it. Trust the metering. You've got to decide if you're one of those stuffy people who insist on everything S-Log and then you're matte boxing. That's great. I mean, if that works for you, that's great. I like to change per job, use my camera specifically at what it's best at for each job. Say if it's like a wedding or I'm sneaking into a venue, I like to go low profile and I don't want to carry around too much crap, monitors and whatever. Then I might choose a Rec709 profile, like Cine 2 or PP off. But yeah, obviously for my own film work, S-Log, why not? Last job I did actually was last non-wedding job I did was a corporate job. It was a doctor's clinic. I did that in S-Log. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying just, you don't have to stay. You don't have to be so stuffy. So the funniest thing is when people have this like a little bit of experience and then they start to teach you something. Like, bro, you've only been doing this for a few months. I've been doing this for 10 years. You've watched like one Gerald Undone video. Get the hell on with this crap. And feminists will call this mansplaining, you know, when you're a professional in your field and then someone tells you how to do your job. But I say to these girls, I say, bro, this isn't really mansplaining. These are just assholes. Like, I've come from a 3D graphics industry and that was full of these kind of people. They would feel good about putting you down, whether that was giving a lesson that you already know. And to be fair, that was a minor subset of the people. The rest, if they did it, they just didn't know they were doing it. I think it comes part, if you've got the logical brain, you've got a bit of the Asperger's, you just don't realize you're doing that. And so I accept that. Anyway, we're going completely off topic here, or are we? Oh yeah, the point of me saying that was, if you are a stickler, if you're a bit stuffy about all this stuff, then I don't think these little Sony cameras are for you. You're probably better off with a cinema camera with built-in NDs, because that's what I would have if I just did film work. And I'm jealous, that's all I want to do. I don't want to do weddings. Really, just ended up being good at it. So yeah, I do get the occasional people trying to teach me things, and that's great if it's a good lesson that I've never heard of, but you'll be surprised at the amount of basic bitch commentary that I get, as if I don't know. Is that similar to when, you know, like if you smile too much or if you're too happy? Do people think that's a weakness? One day I'll conduct a social science experiment and I'll be my regular self and try to be approachable, make people, you know, feel comfortable around me, ha ha ha, whatever, laugh, laugh, laugh. Take note, maybe get that on camera. Then, on the next day, I'm gonna be all stuffy. Like this one guy, I think his name was Dave. Complete different psychology to me. Really like, the way he'd turn up and like a stick up your ass or something. But then, you can't just have little cameras, by the way, if you're gonna act like that. Then I'd bring the matte box and rig it up and I'd have the monitors and whatever, and I'd definitely wear black with a collar and just be very stoic. And then the social science experiment is to see how people react to you differently. But anyway, I like to let my work speak for itself. People love editing my stuff and the clients are always really happy tears. Anyway, I better go. Yes, I've run out of time. Thanks for watching. On the next video, Lyla will help me out and we're going to try to make this little camera look as cinematic as possible. I have brought it home in S-Cinetone, even though I never used this. But like I said, I do like it in my tests. It looks fine. But when I'm watching it back, if I was to film a wedding with it, the way it averages out, a lot of the time it's underwhelming. I look at the bride's skin and I'm like, shit, I better not desaturate that anymore, or she might start looking jaundicey or sick. I just love the punchiness of the standard colours in PP off. And you know, you can get that way with a Phantom LUT if it's Slog3, or even the basic Slog LUT you can download off their site. If you just watch the colours, you can get there as well, but I don't want any fussing. And I love to quality control my wedding videos. It's completely opposite to another comment. He goes, why would you get the A7S3? This is back on the A7S3 videos. This great camera, and then shoot, you know, and then cripple it by not shooting S-Log. And I'm like, thinking to myself, bro, are you saying it's not gonna look amazing straight out of camera? So yeah, a lot of people are quite stuffy about it. Anyway, that's all for today. Thanks for watching. I will do one more video with the A7R5 in terms of trying to make it look cinematic. Oof. Oh, let's stand up. So I'll see you on the next video. Cheers, guys. See ya. Bye.